Hey there, Postal here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the missions that are available for the Tier 5 Chinese multi-role fighter, the P-40N Kittyhawk. I'm showing you the P-40 because that's all I've got. P-40 and the P-40N are incredibly similar, which is good and not so good. Let's go ahead and let's take a quick look at the planes themselves. So the difference between the P-40 and the premium P-40N are going to be basically nil. What do I mean by that? It's really weird that the P-40N is literally just a P-40 but with bombs added and the impact that that has to it. It's very odd because there's already a Chinese Tier 5 wannabe P-40 in the game, and that particular plane is always available and readily available to you even right now if you wanted it to be, and that is the Tomahawk 2B. Tomahawk 2B is basically a knockoff P-40, is the Chinese version of it. I didn't mean it like that. But the P-40 that is currently going to be available as a premium allows you to have this exact plane but with bombs added to it. You take a look at the gun armament, it's exactly the same. You've got the two 250-pound bombs, yay. You've got the same survivability, same hit points. Your airspeed and your top speed at best altitude are slightly less, but that's only because of the bombs. Your dive speed's the same, maneuverability is exactly the same, rate of roll, all that jazz is the same. Altitude performance. The altitude performance is exactly the same. Yes, the rate of climb is slightly slower, but that's again because you've got the bombs on the P-40N multi-role fighter. If you take the bombs off the P-40N Kittyhawk, it is exactly a P-40. All of these metrics line up precisely. That's really odd because all the knockoff P-40 multi-role fighters have had less altitude performance. Why? Because all multi-role fighters have worse altitude performance than fighters in the game. It's just the way that the game's built. It's a balancing mechanism, and yet that balancing mechanism is completely thrown out the window for this particular plane. I'm not quite sure why Wargaming thought it was okay to give a Tier 5 multi-role fighter better altitude than most of the Tier 5 fighters at this level. In fact, I think there's only going to be one or two fighters at Tier 5 that have better altitude performance than this multi-role fighter. It blows my mind, but I'm sure they know what they're doing. So if you get the P-40N multi-role fighter and take off the bombs, you literally have a cut and paste P-40 Warhawk. But put the bombs on there, you can do some ground damage. It's pretty nice. It is a Chinese plane. There is no Chinese line, so hopefully you've got a Chinese pilot and you can build it up. You can plug it in there. So now you've got that out of the way. You're going for literally just a P-40, but premium, so you're going to be getting extra credits with it and yada yadas. I'm going to tell you the same thing that I mentioned when it comes to any of these game events, and that is you don't necessarily need to go out of your way to get the plane. This plane's going to be good. P-40 is a very good Tier 5 fighter in the game, and so this plane, being a carbon copy of it, is going to be a good plane that earns a little bit more credits. That being said, if you can't complete the missions and you're not going to spend whatever money they decide to charge for it, just go for the missions anyway and see if you can get some of the free stuff. What do I mean by that? Well, if you look here on the 20 missions that are going to be available to try to earn this plane, you get free goodies just by completing them. It might take you 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, a week to complete one mission, but you get some extra free stuff out of it, and I would recommend doing that. If you're just doing your normal daily grind, you will be able to get some additional rewards even if you don't complete the entire mission. However, if you're like me and you want to try to get the plane, you're going to want to try to complete the missions. And what missions do we have to look forward to? Well, first and foremost, let's talk about the time frame. So this starts on Monday, April 3rd, and it's going to continue all the way until the end of April. You've got until, May 1st, but it's 4 a.m. on May 1st, and that's Pacific time, so I think it's it says right here, 7:20 Eastern time. 20 missions is a Tier 5 plane, so it's not like the 75 missions that we've seen on some of the higher tier planes. Should be within your grasp. Might take a little bit of diligence. Certainly might take some extra days of flying, but it's Tier 5. There's not a ridiculous amount of missions to get this thing completed. Let's see what the 20 missions are, what you need to do for the conditions, and what the rewards are. Again, I'm going to tell you, take out the planes that you're grinding. Take out planes that you thoroughly enjoy. Don't go with what everybody else thinks is the great plane to fly. You don't want to get frustrated with these missions. Go with something that you're going to actually have fun doing. Mission number 1, deal 25,000 hit points of damage to aerial targets in any number of battles. So that's any aerial targets. Doesn't anything on the enemy team, any air defense aircraft, bombing runs, things of that nature. You get 1 day of premium time for completing this mission. I'm going to take out a tier 10 heavy fighter and hopefully get this done in 3 matches. Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll get it done in 2 matches. We'll see how that goes. Mission number 2, deal 700,000 ground damage in any number of battles. This one you're going to earn 10 emergency engine coolings, period 2. 700,000 damage to ground targets. I'm going to recommend taking out your highest tier bomber or ground attacker. Yes, multi-role fighters and some heavy fighters can do ground damage, but if you're just trying to do huge chunks of damage at one time, you're going to want to take out your highest bomber or highest tier ground attacker to get that completed. I'm hoping to get that done in about half a dozen matches, but we'll see. It'll probably be closer to 10. Mission number 3, destroy 200 aerial targets in any number of battles. Again, this is aerial targets. There's a difference between aerial targets and enemy aircraft. Aerial targets is air defense aircraft, whether it's red or white. It's bombing runs, any of that kind of stuff. 200 aerial targets will get you 40 mechanical parts. If you're somebody that's been maximizing your account, mechanical parts are incredibly helpful. Mission number 4, destroy 8 enemy aircraft while defending sectors in a single battle. This particular mission, I'm going to tell you, you want to take a fighter. In my opinion, fighters are built for defending sectors. There are some multi-role fighters that can do very well in it. Heavy fighters you really want to avoid, bombers and ground attackers, of course, for sure. Destroy 8 enemy aircraft, so that means it can't just be aerial targets. You've got to own the sector. If some random air defense aircraft somehow gets in a sector you've owned, which I've seen happen, that doesn't count. It has to be an enemy aircraft. It can't be a bombing run that's in that sector. Personally, I'm going to take out something like an A7M or a Ki 84. But really, I mean, there's a ton of great fighters. Whatever you're going to have fun with is what I'm going to recommend taking out. Doesn't need to be a turn fighter necessarily. Can be whatever fighter you're really comfortable with, or multi-role fighter for that matter. 8 enemy aircraft, and it has to be done in a single battle, and you're going to get yourself a standard supply crate. Mission 5 I'm a little confused about. The Flying Conqueror badge, I have no idea what this is. Anybody knows what a Flying Conqueror badge is? It would be greatly appreciated. The picture right here, because there's a Conqueror badge, so let's make that clear. But one of the further missions down is a Conqueror badge, so I'm assuming they're not going to have 2 Conqueror badges on these missions. The symbol right here is for the Flying Vanguard badge, so that's what I'm assuming mission 5 is. That's what I'm going to be repeating back to you here. If that ends up not being it when the missions come out, then we'll have to change that in the comments down below. I'll pin a comment on what the actual change is. Flying Vanguard badge can be earned with a multi-role fighter, with a ground attacker, or with a bomber. This is a sector capture mission. You get the Flying Conqueror badge by capturing 5 sectors. Pretty straightforward. There's not, you can die a million times. As long as you respawn and capture 5 sectors total, you're going to get yourself a Flying Conqueror badge in a multi-role fighter, bomber, or ground attacker. And you get 5 curement systems. So you get some boosters, which is really, really nice. Mission number 6 is destroy 16 enemy multi-role fighters in any number of battles. That's good because it's any number of battles. 40 airframe elements was for you to be able to upgrade your airplanes. Mission number 7 is earn 75,000 personal points in any number of battles. You earn some premium ammunition. Great thing about this is any number of battles. If you happen to have like 3 ridiculously good battles in a row, you could get it done in 3 battles. I'm going to be lucky if I get it done in, 7 battles. We'll see. Mission number 8, destroy 100 enemy air defense aircraft in any number of battles. This one you get some premium engine boost for period 2. So that's white or red air defense aircraft. It doesn't matter. Go out of your way. Find those little guys. There's a lot of planes that are good at taking down air defense aircraft. Going to reiterate it, probably reiterate it again a little bit later on, but take out a plane that you're comfortable in doing that. For me, it might be a heavy fighter or a fast multi-role fighter, and there's certainly some good fighters that can do it, but take what you're grinding and you'll eventually get this mission. Mission number 9, destroy 30 armored sections of ground target in a single battle. This can be done in multi-role fighters. I would recommend taking out a ground attacker or probably even a bomber. Ground attacker or a bomber would be great for this. You get a supply crate. This is one of those single battle missions. Sometimes you're going to go out there in a flight and somebody's going to be picking on you all the game and you just can't get away from them and you can't get the mission. It's okay, load back in. maybe you need to go to a different tier. Great thing about this one is it's anything tier 4 and above, as with all these missions. So if you feel more comfortable in a lower tier ground attacker or bomber, so be it. If you'd rather be in your tier 9, 10, go with that one as well. Mission number 10. Receive the Rocketeer honorary rank. You want to get yourself a Rocketeer badge here. So what is a Rocketeer? That is hitting and killing another aircraft with your rockets. Now, there are planes built with air-to-air combat purpose in mind. BVP-210, BVP-212, BVP-215, the Tier 8, 9, and 10 German multi-role fighters. You also have the F-94D, which is a Tier 9 American multi-role fighter. Those are purpose-built for air-to-air rockets. However, you don't need to necessarily use one of those planes to do it. I've gotten plenty of Rocketeers with planes that use air-to-ground rockets. Heck, I got a flipping Rocketeer in a Mosquito. You can do it. And so anything that you feel comfortable with getting the Rocketeer, go for it. You'll get some boosters, 5 air reconnaissance boosters, which will help your free XP. Mission number 11, deal 40,000 hit points of damage to aerial targets in any number of battles. This one you'll get 10 emergency engine restart systems for period 2. 40,000 damage to aerial targets. Again, I'm going to recommend taking out your highest tier heavy fighter for this particular mission. Great thing is it's any number of battles, so if it takes you a long time, then so be it. But for me, I'm going to be going out of my way to take out a Javelin 4 times and hopefully get it completed. Mission number 12, destroy 15 enemy bombers in any number of battles. This one you get some flight instrument parts. I'd like to think that the 15 enemy bombers is strictly the bombers on the enemy team. I'm assuming bombing runs does not count towards that. This can be a little tedious. I'd probably recommend the lower tiers for this. Once you get up to tier 8, 9, and 10, bombers on the enemy teams are kind of the meta, so they're a pain in the butt to kill. Whereas tier 4, 5, and 6, 4 and 5 specifically, you can pick on them and take those enemy bombers down with relative ease. Mission number 13, participate in capturing 30 sectors in any number of battles. The great thing about this is, again, pick a tier, you'll be fine. Go with something that you consistently capturing sectors. ABC, always be capturing. Don't be sitting around defending a sector all battle. Obviously, you're only going to capture one sector in that situation, and it's only if you actually get there to capture it. You want to go out there and try to capture as many sectors as possible. Honestly, aim for 5 sectors per match. Might be a stretch. It's probably going to be a stretch for me, but I'm going to be aiming for that and hopefully more so I can get it done as quickly as possible. You get 10 emergency medical kits, period 2, so you can put your pilot back in as quickly as possible. Mission number 14. Here's that Conqueror badge I was talking about, Conqueror achievement. You receive the Conqueror achievement and you get a supply crate. That's mission number 14. Great thing about the Conqueror achievement is it's pretty darn straightforward and you can take it with any plane. It's obtained 450 capture points. Doesn't matter if you die, doesn't matter what plane you're in, capture. Cool thing about the Conqueror achievement as well is 450 capture points can be done by capturing sectors or by defending sectors. Keep in mind that you earn capture points when you are gaining capture points back into your sector. So for instance, you are defending a garrison and it's at half of the capture points. The enemy team is slowly whittling that away. If you kill an enemy aircraft inside that sector and the capture points go back up, you've earned those capture points back. And you can earn a lot of capture points by defending a sector. Multi-role fighters are really good at Conqueror achievements, but really every single plane in the game, every single plane type is going to have the ability to earn a Conqueror achievement because you can be capturing sectors or defending sectors however you feel fit. Mission number 15 is receive a Doolittle Medal. Well, Doolittle Medal, this one's kind of out of left field, don't you think? Doolittle Medal is one of those that can be difficult sometimes, and then sometimes it's really easy. It's never really easy for me, but Doolittle is a bomber specific mission. You earn a Doolittle Medal by earning at least 400 capture points for destroying enemy ground targets with a bomber in a single sortie. So there's a lot to that, right? 400 capture points, that makes sense. We all understand capture points and getting the actual capture points while we're bombing sectors. You have to be earning those capture points specifically by destroying enemy ground targets, meaning that if you're in your bomber and you kill somebody with your rear gunner and that captures the sector, you don't earn those capture points. It has to be damage done to the ground, and it has to be done in a single sortie, which can be a pain in the butt. I would typically recommend for a Doolittle something more high level, just because you're able to defend yourself a little bit more. It'd certainly be done at any level, but for me and my mediocre bomber skill set, I'll be aiming for tier 7 and above. For this, you earn 5 intensive training boosters, where you get some extra crew XP. Mission number 16. Earn 50,000 personal points in any number of battles. For this one, you'll earn 10 high-octane additive consumables, 50,000 personal points in any number of battles. Whether you're earning 5,000 personal points per battle or 10,000 personal points per battle, you'll get it done eventually. Hoping I can get this one done in just a handful of battles, but we'll see. Mission number 17, destroy 50 enemy aircraft while defending sectors in any number of battles. In this one, you're going to get some parts as well for mission number 17. Keep in mind it's enemy aircraft while defending sectors, so it's only going to be those enemy aircraft. It's not going to be bombing runs, anything like that. It is any number of battles, so eventually you'll get it taken care of. But I'd still recommend hanging out in fighters for the majority of this, because it's just any number of battles. If you're just doing your daily missions, there's going to be a couple times where you might kill a couple planes in your heavy fighters if that's what your daily mission is entailing. So feel free to just handle it with your daily missions, and then once you're done doing your dailies, then focus on this mission specifically. Mission number 18, destroys 300 sections of ground targets in any number of battles. For this one, you're going to get a lightweight wing frame. Great thing about this 300 sectors of ground targets in any number of battles is can technically do it in any plane, right? Bombers and ground attackers are going to be purpose built for this. Multi-role fighters to a lesser extent, but they're going to be pretty good at it as well. Doesn't matter the tier, so whatever you're comfortable in, take it. Heavy fighters can do it. Don't take your freaking fighters out there, your regular fighters trying to destroy ground targets. Don't be that guy in a Spitfire or a A6M5 shooting the ground. It's not good. Take out your bombers, ground attackers, and some multi-role fighters, and you'll be able to get this one done. Mission number 19, destroy 5 enemy heavy fighters in a single battle. This one you earn a steel supply crate, which is pretty nice. 5 enemy heavy fighters in a single battle shouldn't be too difficult. You can take out your own heavy fighter and go kill that, right? 5 is not overly difficult. With the respawns, you can get 5. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's not overly difficult either. There's also some planes that are purpose-built for killing heavy fighters. I mean, things like an F6U or a lot of the MiGs have the ability to really hit heavy fighters hard. TA-183s are really good at it as well. And the final mission is receive an Akamatsu medal. So Akamatsu is purpose-built around fighters. Love getting Akamatsus, but I love fighters. So that would earn you the P-40N Kittyhawk and some extra stuff that we'll talk about in just a second. How do you earn an Akamatsu medal? You have to have at least 400 capture points for destroying aerial targets while you're in a light fighter in a single sortie. Great thing about Akamatsu that I like is it doesn't matter if you're attacking or defending, just earning the capture points for destroying aerial targets will get you an Akamatsu. You shouldn't be shooting the ground in a light fighter anyway. Kill aerial targets and you're good to go. Key is in a single sortie though. You can't die, or if you die it restarts and you have to do that 400 from fresh. You'll earn the P-40N Kittyhawk. You get a hangar slot, you get a pilot, which I mean unless you don't have any other Chinese pilots it won't matter. You're going to put your highest point Chinese pilot in this plane probably. You get some decoration paint. Looks like paint scheme, nose art, and an emblem. You get a nifty badge that you can have in your hangar as an achievement, and then you get airborne, huh? So that's the brief overview of the missions. Again, you're just going to be in this plane, Chinese, with some cool paint and some bombs. It's not to say that it's a bad thing if you earn the plane. The plane's going to be good. Why? Because a P-40 is good. What I don't like about the P-40N is complete lack of variety. And on top of that, it seems oddly skewed. There's already in the game, there is a P-40 M105. This is a P-40 with air-to-ground ordnance, same exact guns. You've got 4 rockets, but it's a multi-role fighter, and so its altitude performance reflects that. However, then you've got this multi-role fighter that we're about to have. Its altitude performance is completely going to be off the charts. And it just doesn't make sense in my head. Maybe I'm missing something, but it doesn't make sense in my head that a multi-role fighter would have the same altitude performance as either the first best or second best altitude performance tier 5 fighter in the game. This multi-role fighter is going to have the same altitude performance. It just kind of blows my brain. I don't know what's going on with it, but hey, maybe we should just take advantage of it. P-40N is going to be a fun plane. I hope you are able to earn it. If you like the P-40, you're going to like the P-40N. Going to be able to earn some extra credits with it, and if you decide to put the bombs on it, you got the ability to drop some bombs from time to time. Anyway, that's my assessment of the different missions and the plane itself. Obviously, I'll have, better time giving you some more information once I've earned the plane and we can see where that particular assessment goes. What are your thoughts on the P-40N? From what I've seen, everybody's a little kind of wondering what's going on, but I'd love to hear your opinion on it. Feel free to comment down below, or you can hop in my Discord and we can continue the conversation there. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one as you can see me continuing on with some of these missions for the P-40N. Have a great day.